So now we're going to work on our pathing of these shapes. I probably should have thought about that as I was creating them, but of course I forgot to think about that. But hopefully this will stop you from making the same mistakes. Okay, let's get started. I guess we'll start with this one, and if I hit edit, I can see it starts down there. That's fine. And that will just stitch continuously. So that one's not a problem. There's no separate objects. And same thing with this one. And it starts very close to the other one. So it is possible that I could have made, well, no, because they're going to be done separately. Some people don't want their blanket stitch to be stitched where it's covered up, where it's masked. They don't want it to stitch because they don't want the bulk. Well, that's when you use the auto outliner. You can use it, but here's the thing: when you use it, the one that it's overlapping into, like for instance, let's just work with, let's see which two overlap. If I hide everything, okay, like these two overlap, the first two. So you may say, well, I don't want stitches on this yellow. That's the bottom object. Well, then when I do auto outliner for this, you still kind of want the yellow ones to stitch a little bit in because you don't want to see a gap there. That means you're just going to have like from here to here where there's no stitches. Let me first do the auto outliner and then I'll be able to think better. So I hit Control S. So now save it for a different file name. File, save as Hawaiian block 7-inch auto outliner. So if I just select these two, auto outliner is not showing. You say to yourself, well, why? Auto outliner only works with fill objects. So let's just control A, and I don't know if I can convert these to a fill. Let's bring these all back. Well, I don't want to make a fill from the cut file. We can leave that hidden. But for these, I'll just create a fill. Okay. So now I don't really need all of these extras. So I'll keep the cut file extra, but the rest of these, I already have them up here. So this is my cut file. This is my original. Control S. And I have the other file saved too in case I make a mistake. So let's group each of these. Group, group, group. Hide the cut file. Okay. So now these two, now auto outliner shows up. Okay, Control S. So I'll auto outline. Do I want to arrange them? If you arrange them in a compact outline so that there's no jump stitches or anything, no scissors, you'll have like travel stitches, so you'll have a double layer of stitching, then, you can't assign your blanket stitch very easily. You still can, but it just takes a little bit more time. You have to, you know, select the backward pads and all that stuff. So I can always arrange them in a minute because I forgot to assign them the blanket stitch. So I'm just going to say no, don't arrange them. So because I want to see also the overlap. You could tell already there's no overlap. If I generate these, if I just generate them as single stitches, you know, and of course they all go to the same color, so they went to the first color of the two. So I mean, you don't really want that. You do want an overlap. So you can extend each of these in, you know, the underneath ones. Remember, it's the plus sign, that's the underneath one. This is the end. I could just click and snap to node and snap it to that node, but then there's not a node there, so you'd have to have object edge checked, and then that's kind of how much it would extend. And then to get this one, I'll just reverse stitches and do the same thing, and then just reverse them back and hit enter. And so then that would be it. And I'd have to do that all the way around to all four of them just to have an overlap. So I would just go through the next one, click, okay, reverse. So I don't want to go in that far. I don't even want to go in that far, you know. Snapping to object. Oh, I forgot to reverse back. I don't know, you know, how important it is to reverse back, because if I branch this, then, but see, you know, a lot of people, they're going to do these one at a time. So even though they're all looking the same color right now, I'm going to be putting them down one at a time. So that's another reason why you don't want to branch it. So let's just keep going with this at least. And oops, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, is there a note on top of here? I didn't know that. Is there a note on top of that one? Let's reverse. Why is there an extra node there? Oh my gosh, there's all these nodes. Control C. There's a round node under there. That's weird. Okay, let's go back to this one. Yeah, there's an extra node. It's under here. Good thing I have something to snap to there. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. If you delete the square node, usually the round one, there shouldn't be a round one under there. Okay, except over here, you know, if I delete this square node, that round one should delete because it's pointing to it. Oops, wrong one though. Okay, let's do this again. This is the one I want to delete. Okay. Yeah, they don't need to be in that far. I mean, that's about, let's measure that. That's about 1.5 mils. That's good. 1 or 2 mils overlap is probably plenty. So we did that one. Now we just have to do this one. And then, oh, I don't know if I reverse the nodes. Okay. Zoom in, it won't snap as badly. Okay, so if these we're going to stitch first, edit, and then, so this ends there, and then, you know, you want it to like jump over to there, you could just have a travel stitch over to there, you know, so that you don't have any doubled up stitches for your applique. So in other words, the next one, you know, it depends on how easy or simple. So it starts there, and you could just do create connection. But then you'd have to make sure all your connections are long enough. Apply. And then it would be like that, you know. You'd still have stitches, but they wouldn't be blanket stitches. And then this one, oops, it's got to be reversed. And then create connection. It's showing that it's like a backward path. Okay, so that was the wrong one. I did that wrong. Oh, it was correct. Okay, so then there's your connection. Now, are each of these connections they're gonna go back there? So, and also I brought this in, so I have to select everything and reset my ties for the connections. I don't really want to change this. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just set them all identical when I'm done. I'll set them identical to that first one. So, and then this one is done. This one here, it's got to be reversed. Right click, create connections. You notice how it got red. It wasn't a white backward path anymore. So, so then that one's done. And so then you have a connection all the way around. Now then there's not one here. Does it make it look bad? Maybe. You know, maybe. Because then maybe you want it to look symmetrical under there for some reason. So you could just make an outline from there to there, make it straight, and make it, you know, 1.5 and 2, and hit enter. And then, like I said, hold control. It's just these two. So then right click, hold, set identical params. So then all of these will stitch seamlessly. But granted, we didn't give them, you know, the params yet of the blanket stitch. So let's group these, and then this one's done because this one, each of these are connected because they were the top ones, each of these. So we're going to set these back to the correct color. See, these will all stitch together. These were green. And that's the last stitch. So that one would be the color of the beige. Okay. So then these together, I'll just group one again. Okay. So then these two would be done. I just have to give them a blanket stitch. So params. So there, I'm not branching them. I'm just doing it all manual. And I'll make it 5. And I could see I can't change some. Let me just ungroup it. Okay, this one, I don't want it to be a blanket stitch. I want it to just be a single stitch because that was the one we added. Up 2. Okay. So, if I just go over everything except the single stitch, you could see it's a blanket stitch and now everything is solid, but we don't want that. We want 4 and 4. Okay. So now we can group everything. I really hesitate grouping that. I'm not going to. I'll leave that by itself. And I'm not sure if I even need it, but so, I mean, you can kind of see the blanket stitch barely goes in, but it's okay. It's okay. And then this one, we can just give it this blanket stitch. Set identical params and generate. But, everything is all wonky. So now granted, it's covering it. So let's show the fills. Okay, so these are the 2 fills. And if we generate, they're exactly the same color though. That's the problem. Okay, now I can see them, but I can't see the yellow blanket stitch. Still can't see them because it's the same color, duh. I can kind of see the yellow now. So I have to put the fills respectively after in the correct order, the way that I'll be placing the fabric. So I'll be placing this cross and then stitching the cross. So this insert after. So placing the cross, then stitching the cross. That's where I screwed up. And then I'll be placing the green and then stitching the green. Placing the green and then stitching the green. Okay. And then the red. I'm just going to get rid of these cut files. Ungroup. So these here, Control C, Control V. Okay. These are the blues that I already have. I must have copied and pasted those. Okay, so these are all outlines that have to go up. Insert after. Okay, so now we do the red. And so the red is going under the green, I guess. Yeah. So we don't want the blanket stitch to come down in there. So the red and the green, oh, these are fills. Wait a minute. Okay, those are the outline. It doesn't change down here. So the red and the green, here's the fills now. I know it's not showing as a fill. It doesn't change. There's the red fill and there's the green. So these two, if I did auto outline, the red's gonna stop. But here's the thing. I don't have to have a connection for these red ones. I can just make each red one start here and end here. I can do that. I'm going to use my cut files as my placement basting stitches later. So for these tack down blanket stitches, I can just have each red one start and stop. I don't even have to do auto outliner. Because they're so separate, we're not going to be able to travel. They're going to have to tie and tie off. So if I edit each one, it would be a pain. I'm better off rotating it. So so that's the fill. So if I come here and ungroup, and I edit this, go into normal view. I mean, it's pretty going to be tight in through here. So I'll just have it start here and end here. I'll split it. And then this one, I'll just delete it. I mean, I don't need it, right? It's not going to be my placement stitch. I'm going to use my cut files for those. And so I can go around, I can rotate this and then delete these. I'll just do that. So I'll delete these. I'll leave this one in its spot. Rotate. Okay, I got 3 of them. Select them. It doesn't select. My computer's getting slow. It's not letting me slide over them. Okay, so I had to restart the program because it locked up. So I'll select these, right click, let go, insert after. So I'll group these now. And they're still single stitch, but I can click on these that are blanket and just set identical parameters. So those will just stitch separately. And I'll generate. Let's see, I don't see a blanket stitch though. Okay. Probably because these fill stitches are after it. There's still these fills. They're not generating, but so, and then this is the red fill. I know it doesn't show it yet, but I'll make it like maybe a darker red. See if those other ones show up. I might have to make those a lighter pink. Oh, well, the fill has to go first. So right click, insert before. Okay, I can kind of see them. I'll make these a lighter pink, I guess. Okay. So you can see the overlap here into the green. It's going to be okay. And then after the red, here's the pink blanket stitch. So now are these little green things, and those just stitch separately. You don't have to worry, they're on top. So those will just we'll right click and hold, set identical parameters, but then the fill we'll put before it. We'll make the fill on this green maybe light. So that this one then shows. So let's generate both of them. Okay. Boy, these colors are hideous. And then this is the last one. So it's not changing. So you don't know which is which. Okay, the outline. So the fill goes first. Insert before. And we'll make this outline. I could probably make all the outlines like black, just so that they show. I don't have to deal with it. And then I can make the other ones prettier colors maybe. But I'll just make this, make a dark green. And then this one is the blanket stitch. Right click, set identical params. So the fill in the blanket stitch. Generate. And there you go. So the only thing I had to worry too much about overlapping then was just this cross had to come in underneath, and then the red flowers. But now I have this mess of all these blanket stitches, you know. And you wonder, should I just edit like on the red flower? Should I just turn the pink, one of these pink petals, these pink blanket stitches, turn just one of those into a manual stitch and just edit one of them, and then rotate that one around, see which one looks the best, maybe? I mean, I don't really like any of them. I almost feel like there's too much of a gap. I feel like I wanted it less than 4. I feel like I wanted it like a 3. So let me try that first. So I have to select all of the outlines. So starting with this, it would be every other one, not including this one. So here's the fill. So these are all outlines or blanket stitches. And then params, maybe I'll make it 3 and 3. It just doesn't look good, even though I have to edit each of them. Okay, that looks better. I like that at 3 mils. Okay, and then starting with the yellow ones look okay. I'm not gonna edit those. And then after the yellow are the green. And those do need to be edited. I'd have to edit the whole thing. So Control C, well, you don't have to Control V because when you convert to manual or editable stitches, it creates another object and leaves this one alone. So I would just do convert to editable. Before I convert, well, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to just unhide everything and Control A because I brought this in from editor, so my params tie-offs are wrong. Params, going to the shield. These are Embird's defaults. My default is here, default. And there you go. And hit apply for everything. Whenever you bring something in from editor, it goes back to editor's defaults for the tie-ups. And I wish it didn't do that, but it does. I don't know if it does that in Studio Next. It's going to lock up because it's pretty intense. So when this happens, you just usually it's in front, but I can right click and then right click farther away. There we go, params, okay. And hit OK. So I think it generated them all okay. So I guess what I could do to make it less intensive is to deselect the fills. And generate. Let me just hit Control S. Generate. See there, it didn't lock up. So what was I going to do? Let me hide these again. I'm going to make these yellow outlines more brighter so they show up better. Okay, my pink outlines are not showing. Oh, how did the width get to be 2 on everything? Everything got smaller. So I have to select them all. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Okay. All right, so which one looks the best of the red? They all look bad. The outline is in pink, duh. Okay, ungroup. Okay, that one. Convert to editable stitches. I'll hide it. This one here. I will hide the fill. Control S, and let's come over and edit it. I'll just start down here. Okay. So I'm only going to do one, and then I'm going to rotate it. See if that works. This is going to be hard over here because these are really far apart. It's kind of wonky. Maybe I should have done 2.5, you know, because this is really missing one over here. Use my right mouse to pan. Yeah, I don't know if I should have used 2.5. It's a lot more work. You have more stitches. It's too bad they don't follow better. Okay. Hit enter. Good enough. Okay, Control S, and then I'll just make this like a darker pink. Not much darker, but and then rotate 4, center, 1, 2, 3, close, group, and then these will turn. I usually turn them yellow if I'm going to delete them, but I already turned these yellow, so I'll just turn them like this funky blue, and I'll know to delete those. Group 1, show it, and then I'm just going to move it like to the top. Whoops, Control C, I want to see where it is. Get the pink, put the pink before it, and then take the blue and move it to the top and hide it. And there's my pinks. And would be nice to see them better. I mean, I made these the reddest I could make them. Unless I make these light pink and then the outlines red. That's better. I don't think these outlines are generated. There we go. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're good enough. And then the yellow here, that wouldn't be hard to edit. That top one looks bad. They all look bad. Oh, these are bad. I have to do these. Let me do those first. Okay. Those are right there. Okay. Ungroup. So this one I'll convert to editable stitches. Hide that one. Edit this. Now, do I want this one to come in? I don't want any snapping on. I guess. I don't know why I have these fills on. I'm going to normal view. Still not helpful. I should have hidden everything because I'm getting confused. Locking up. I can't see what I'm doing. It's snapping. Oh, I thought I unchecked that. Okay. Could have done that better. Yeah, I don't know what I did with these over on the other side. Let's see what I did. Oh, they were crisscrossing. How do I feel about that? Yeah, that looks better than this at least. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if they don't come all the way. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I could just get rid of them, but then this has to be tacked down. Boy, there's nothing here. Well, that's not good. Should have used 2.5. I'll just go with that, I guess. Control S. And then rotation for center. 1, 2, 3. Boy, it's going slow. Close. Again, it's locked up. Control S to bring it into view. Group. And then these, I'll group them. I'll make them this blue. Insert after. And I still have to do Control S the these here. These are the outlines. So on those, let's see. I'll just work with the top one, I guess. Ungroup, convert to editable stitches, edit. Again, I didn't turn off the other ones. Oh well. Zoom in. This one I can snap to grid. Well, let's see. I do these. Oh, that worked out okay there. Let's see how that looks. Let me hide these four. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, they're overlapping here. Not sure if I want that to happen. They're coming pretty close. I'm still snapping to grid or something. Let's uncheck snapping. And now these are all gonna overlap. Should I just let them? I don't know how I feel about that. I could slant them. That one I want to snap. And then these two, I mean, I could do something like that. And there's like snapping to the grid there. I don't know if that looks good or not. I'm waiting for it to snap to something. I don't know how I feel. And then these. I don't know. Let's see how it looks. Oh, this has to be fixed. I didn't fix that. Well, it's covered up, so I don't have to worry about that node. Yeah, so I'm letting that node stitch. It has to. It's too thin. The yellow is too thin. Okay, I'm just going to go with that. I know it's a little different looking. Let's see. Do one thing. Control S. 4, center, 1, 2, 3, close. Oh, it's selected. Group. And then this one, whoops, right click and hold, insert after. And there you go. Control S, generate. Control 1 to bring into view. Oh, I forgot about doing this one. Ungroup. Oh, because it's all one piece. Ugh. Okay. So these are all together. I can just combine them. It's just one piece. Transform, combine. Or where was that now? Control C. That was after 9. Transform, combine. Insert after. But we have to Control S. We have to convert to editable stitches. Jeez, I thought I was done. And these, we're going to turn the bright blue. We'll just hide them for now. So I know, well, I'll just take these and put them up. Insert before. I'll just move these. So these were after the yellow. Insert after. I'll just hide them. These are, that was partially hidden, so you have to bring it all back and then hide it again. Okay. So let's generate these. Are these coming up as single stitches? Yeah, they're coming up as single stitches. Oh, this is single stitch, duh. All right, bring it back. I'll just give it the same params. Yes, can't be hidden. Set identical params. And now convert to manual. You know how that happened. Convert to editable. This was that dark green. Put it before. Get rid of this one. It's the single stitch. Okay. Hide that. And then this. Generate. Okay, what is going on? This was a blanket. Oh, look at, they're going out. Probably, if it's probably the direction they're going. If I hit edit and reverse direction, I mean, I could have mirrored them, but I just want to be consistent, and let's generate them. Now they're going in. Now I have to do this all over. Convert to editable. Insert before. Delete these. Make these green. Hide those. Finally, Control S. This is going to be a nightmare. And edit. I'm gonna leave those as crisscrossed. I don't care. I mean, they're fine. So I have to be consistent now with everything I do. So I can leave this going that way, but then this one has to also go that way, or I can do it like that. This isn't good. So I'll do that like that. I don't want to move too many because then I have to do it that many times. Let me see how that looks. Great. Why does that look like there's another node there or something? I don't know how I feel about that. I'll just let it go. I guess I don't want them so close to the edge. S, Control 1, generate. Let's generate these. Let's go into 3D. Since I'm making all of my fills light, let's make this one light. We'll make this, let's see if we can make it even lighter. And then I'll make all of my outlines black. Okay, Control S. I'll just have to remember in editor to delete those other ones, unless I do it now. So let's see, this is my auto, I called this auto outliner. I'm gonna call it final. Final. And then now these up here I'm gonna delete when I get into editor. Well, I don't have any yellows, so I'll make them yellow now. That's normally what I do. And then these, those were my, that was like my original of everything before I started all this editing. So then I'm just going to turn this yellow. This is my placement stitch and my cut file. So my placement stitch, I was usually making orange, Control C, Control V. Oh, you can't because it's hidden. Control C, Control V. Make that orange. Bring it up. Where was I? Okay. And then, I mean, the placement stitch is the same as the cut file, so technically I could have left the placement stitches there because I'm going to just copy the cut file and open it in a new window and save it as an SVG. But I hate to have them two that are exactly the same. So I'll delete this one. And then this one I'll do Control C because I'm going to take it in a new window. But now though, I'm gonna, since it's gonna be my placement stitch, I want to change the params to 4 and 4 so that I could remove them. Okay. And Control S. So when I get back into Editor, I'm only going to have the blanket stitches and the orange. Now I can make something to, let me see, why do these look so funky? Oh, because they're placement stitches. Yeah, they, wow. Well, that's okay. I didn't want them to be, let's see. They do have to go around some tight curves. I didn't want it to be hard to take out. It's a little better. I could make a crosshair in here, or I could just do it in Editor. I might do that in Editor. But for each of these, every time it does a blanket stitch, I may want to jump to it, and that's going to be a lot of jumping too. The first one is the yellow, and it's ending there. So I would make something like here. And it would be the same color. So it would be after this. And it would be black. And it would have like 5 and 5. But, you know, it's going to have tie-ons. I'd have to remove them because I don't feel like changing my settings. So, if I hold Control, it'll just be a straight line. So I'd have to, like, you know, remove those in Editor. And what I could do is just make one here and then remove the ties in Editor and then just keep copying and pasting it in Editor to move it around. I'll just make it a little bit longer. And I'll make my crosshair I guess I could make it here. If I go into normal view, I can import it, or I could just make it. I don't feel like importing it. So I'll just start at the bottom, and I'll snap to grid. It's on. I'll make it slightly smaller than the design. Straight. Hit enter. Control C, Control V. Transform. Rotate right. And then this will be my crosshair. And that'll go before the placement stitch. Control S. This, I did have it copied, but I don't know if it's still on the clipboard. Remember, it's got the wrong stitch length for my cut file. But, you know, the vector is going to transfer over good. I'm going to Control C, and I'm going to do File New, Control V, but I want to give these, you know, a smaller stitch length of like 1.5, and, well, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna, I'm exporting it as an SVG. It doesn't even matter the stitch length, so I don't know why I'm worried. And I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna turn it blue, and I'm gonna save it as cut, and then I'm going to export it as an SVG. Okay. So that's my cut file. It's expanded 1.5 or 1 mil only on either side, 2 mils altogether. So let me go back now, open recent, Hawaiian block final, the one that has the fills. So I'm actually going to do basically 2 things with this file before we take it into editor. I'm going to ungroup this placement stitch, these placement stitches, and I'm going to place them before each of their respective blanket stitch. And let me do Control A and then Control 1